Welcome to my review of Terminull Brigade. I'm going to tell you the pros and cons of this game. It is a new free-to-play third-person shooter. It is offered on the PC and maybe the console, I don't really know because I actually played on the PC. It's a very colorful third-person shooter and I'll tell you my thoughts on it throughout this video. So let's go on with gameplay, the pro features, okay? I find the gameplay very fun. You know, you get to play as these new interesting characters. For instance, I'm going to play as a commando. The commando is a very cool character, or that's what his name is, my opinion. He has a very cool ability. His E will be his rocket launcher, his C will be his shield, and throughout the game you would actually have those abilities right there, as I mentioned. The perks, which is you can play your character in a very unique way based on what perks you pick up. You can add crit damage to their ability, thunder, whatever perks that you see there, and making each gameplay very unique and fun to play. On top of that, aside from the perks, you can actually choose relics too. Relics will actually increase your in-game items. So based on what items and which perks you can combine, you can create a wholesome of combinations for the gameplay, making each gameplay unique and different in its own rights. On top of that, based on your character and your abilities and your perks, you can create a variety of games to play. So each gameplay will feel unique and special in its own way. Yeah, on top of that, you can also play other characters too. Boss fight. This is a con for me. I find that the boss fights are very boring and it's just basically a shoot, reload, dodge, shoot, reload, dodge. I know it's there to kind of test out your build and, you know, to see if, you know, you have the qualification to move forward, but I find a lot of this boss fight very annoying, especially when you get to the higher tier of gameplay. You're basically just shooting bullet sponges, right? If you haven't built the right build, you'll be running into this kind of blindfolded because a lot of the higher level boss can literally one-shot you in one hit. I know they offer a different variety of bosses, from tank guy to this machine guy, but as I mentioned, most of these boss fights play out the same way. You shoot, you dodge, you reload, you're hoping that you do enough damage to kind of remove all of his HP, but gameplay for me in the boss fights are not that fun, as if you were to kind of pick up relics and other drop off down below. Wait time. So this is a big con for me. I understand that early on you'll get a lot of gameplay, you get a lot of new players, bosses are easy, but once you get to the higher level, it's very, very hard to find a game. You know, you'll be trying to go into chat, you'll be looking at the lobby, you'll be looking at which game is free. It'll take you up to like 15 to 20 minutes to actually find a game. And sometimes it might even take you longer because a lot of players that are at higher level tier, they don't want to play with you, right? Or sometimes they do, but it's very hard to find a gameplay, especially when you're getting to the higher level. So hopefully they'll fix that, or they'll introduce a different matchmaking system in the future. Con, skill tree. The skill tree, as fun as it is in your early gameplay, there's perks, shopping perks on your right, and health on your left, and crit and damage will be on your top, but by your 30th or 50th matches, you already kind of maxed out all of this, so it doesn't really matter in later endgame stuff. So I find this, as much as, you know, that it's enjoying to look at, and you know that you're going to build your character such a way, basically by endgame, none of this will be efficient because you would probably already maxed it out. And module, this is the real endgame stuff. I said this is a pro because it is endgame stuff. Based on what module you use, and what kind of rarity or what kind of status it has, it can really make and break your characters. So um, the abilities can range from intensity 1 to 3 and onward. But based on how you build it and which one you select, based on how limited your character is, all that takes into consideration, right? So a lot of the characters that you build, you would want 2 or 3 perks that you want, and the rest you can fill in with other stuff. But for me, at endgame, I try to use the higher tier types, and I'll be spending hours and hours just trying to configure which is the best build for my character, and it's very fun. It's like managing this in itself is like a mini game of yourself, trying to pair things in with this limited amount of space that you have. Yeah. Overall thoughts. So my overall thoughts on this game, it is way too early. There's a lot of cool features, but as I mentioned above, there's not enough players to invest in it. As much as I like this game, I thought it was cool, but after a while, the repetitive nature does kick in. You don't find any matches. You already played your character to the max ability as you want, and they don't offer any more end game. There are bosses that you can fight later on, but it's not something that you really want to, enjoy throughout the game. So if you do like this channel, please like and subscribe. Thank you for the review, and I will enjoy the rest of my day. And hopefully, if you have any comments or if you dislike any feature that I said, comment down below and enjoy the rest of your day.